Mark Allen here with Four Color Commentary. Last video I did a couple of weeks ago was about my collection of Atlas Seaboard comics from the Bronze Age. That video did well. Tells me that there was some interest there. But what I thought I'd do, really for myself more than anything else, I've had those comics for decades, and I've read just very few of them. I've read the Scorpion. I've read the Cougar. No, not the Cougar. I'm sorry. I've read the Tiger Man and the Destructor series because they were Ditko books. But what I thought I'd do is I'd start going through each title and talking a little bit about the book itself, give my impression of the story, and just give you all an idea of what these books were about, because they did show some promise. They did show some interesting concepts. And I'm going to start with the Phoenix. The Phoenix character is astronaut Ed Tyler, and through an accident at their space station that killed two of his friends, or his two fellow astronauts, he survived and was basically abducted by aliens, or collected by aliens who were watching the whole thing. I don't want to give too much away as far as plot points, even though these are old comics, but he splashes down and then is collected by aliens, and he ends up getting powers that involve his own astronaut suit, which was very high tech, and also some of the alien tech. He ends up becoming very powerful. And, it wasn't really, one of the things I want to say about the character, it wasn't really, didn't draw extremely heavily off of anything else that I know of. Straightforward story, okay? It wasn't reminiscent of any Marvel heroes, again, that I can think of. Astronaut who gained some powers through technology, both human and alien. But, Sal Amendola was the primary artist in the first 3 issues. And as you know, as anybody who knows anything about the history of Atlas Seaboard, things got tossed pretty quick as far as just really changing things up. And so Sal Amendola, I'm going to focus mainly on the artists of these books, just because I don't want these videos to be too long, and the artists are the ones that give the comics their look. But I like Amendola's pencils and his art style. I was trying to find a really good example of that. There's when he first dons his costume, which is an alien, one of the alien uniforms, but also utilizing technology from his own astronaut suit. And just a striking image. Now, the cover of issue 1 is a Dick Giordano cover, and that fits. I mean, that you can tell that if you know Giordano's work. But Amendola has a very Neil Adams or Dick Giordano inspired style, I believe. But Amendola was an Italian-American artist. He lived all but just the first couple of months of his life, I think. 2 months or 2 years, I think, but I can't remember. But he lived most of his life in the United States, but he was of Italian lineage. And he started out working at DC Comics, working on The Witching Hour, I believe, when Dick Giordano was editing it. He worked a little bit at Marvel, but ended up really just kind of preferring DC. Didn't enjoy Marvel a whole lot. He is known, however, here's some more interesting panels. He is known, however, for drawing one of the most, what some call one of the best Batman stories of all time. I believe in 1974, it was Batman. It was Detective Comics 470-something, but it was Night of the Stalker. And it's a high point, according to many Batman fans, many older Batman fans, of Batman stories. So Sal didn't have a real long, he had kind of a short comic book career, but he made his mark. It's kind of interesting. The story, I enjoyed the story of the Phoenix compared to a lot of what comes out today. I can understand it coming out. Here's issue number 2. It coming out in the Bronze Age compared to stuff that was being offered then. I can understand it suffering a bit, but there were business issues that I'll probably get into more of in a future video. But it's another Dick Giordano cover, I believe. I don't believe any of these were Amendola covers. But, so, he didn't, and then Gabriel Levy was the writer here, where Jeff Roven was the writer in the first one. So right from the beginning, things would change, and they would kind of subtly change all throughout until the fourth issue, where things really changed. Jeff Roven moved to editor from writer in the second issue. But again, the general quality artistically stood up. It was still the same. It was still Amendola delivering solid pencils and storytelling, I thought. And so, you know, fun stuff. I enjoyed the story. It was kind of, now there was some very much some religious Christian overtones, some comparisons of, you know, subtle comparisons of Ed Tyler to Jesus Christ, or to, I should say, to the Phoenix as Jesus Christ. And in fact, in this third issue here, and I don't know who, I'm not really sure who did that cover. That may be an Amendola cover. I'm not sure, but in this, there's a couple of images of him that could be in the book that could be construed as him looking like he's on a cross. Okay, and in fact, I think in issue 3 there may be one of those here. But here's the thing: the main protagonists in issue 3, or antagonists, I should say, were Yetis. Okay, he was fighting a bunch of Yetis in Tibet, and interesting, you know, unusual in a sense, at least the way it was done, the way it was executed. But here's the thing: here's the villain in issue 3. Looks very much. In fact, he claimed he was Satan. I'm not going to give away any twists or turns, but he claimed that. So you've got a subtly Christ-like figure going up against a satanic figure. So there were religious overtones there, and someone, according to Amendola, I don't remember if it was Jeff Roven or who it was, someone wanted that. Now, there was also a backup story with early art by Pat Broderick called The Dark Avenger, and that was really good. I've always enjoyed Pat Broderick's work. It's always been pretty solid, even from his early days. But, you know, very gritty stuff there, the street crime level hero. There you go. But again, as far as the Phoenix, it ended abruptly in a sense. 4 issues. Issue 3 was the last of the issues with the current creative team, including most notably Sal as artist. And the issue number 4 had to throw readers for a loop as they see this on the stands. Totally different costume, totally different style, looking very Marvel-like on the cover. And then you open it up to Rick Estrada doing the art there. And very, you know, very jarring difference, but still, you know, enjoyable and appealing, because I've always liked Rick Estrada's work. Rick Estrada is an interesting figure in comic book history, because Rick actually, he was born in Havana, Cuba, but Rick actually, when he came to America, his transition to America was facilitated primarily by his uncle. I can't remember his last name. His first name was Sergio, but his uncle Sergio and writer Ernest Hemingway, of all people, got him to New York, got his career rolling in New York, his art education. Here's a little more art from Rick Estrada in this book. Again, if you know Estrada's work, then you know he's one of those artists. Again, his work is very recognizable. Estrada did a lot of work for DC. Worked on Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, the first Richard Dragons series. He co-created Power Girl, co-created Power Girl, co-created Lady Shiva in the first Richard Dragon series. So, I mean, you know, very capable artist. Worked on some notable #1s in Bronze Age DC. But anyway, it just took the story in a totally different direction. And what's interesting as we wrap up here is, okay, in issue 1, Phoenix, or Ed Tyler, was abducted by aliens, and he gained powers through his costume, or through his astronaut outfit and its technology, and their own technology. Well, he's in issue 4. He is abducted by another race of aliens that was kind of in charge of, in a strange way, the first race of aliens. He's given a different costume and different powers. So it really was just kind of a out of the blue change. And I think, you know, there's all kinds of reasons, again, why Atlas didn't make it. But I don't think it could have helped them to, just a few issues in, change everything up for the readers. But anyway, I enjoyed it. And it's probably because I'm not comparing it to the Bronze Age stuff that came out at the time. I'm comparing it to a lot of modern age comics today, which I just can't read a lot of modern comics today. And it's because I'm old. I'm not saying anything about the writers or artists or the talent level. I'm old. And it's just not, most of it's just not my bag. And so anyway, that's the Phoenix. That's Atlas Comics, the Phoenix. It is a fun read. I do recommend it, and I do, you know, for what you can get these for, which Atlas Seaboard Comics for the most part aren't going to break the bank, and so it's a good read, it's a fun read, it's kind of gitchy, kind of very period as far as Bronze Age, but I recommend them. And next one I'm gonna do. I've already gotten into 3 different series and reading up on them and studying up on them. I'm going to, the Destructor is what I'll do. I forget which one now I'm going to do next, but anyway, tune in next time, okay, for another Atlas Seaboard series, and just a little bit about the artists and the history and all of that kind of stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Go out and find those Atlas Seaboard books, and thanks for watching.